As the saying goes, everything happens for a reason. It's true. There's always a reason behind every meeting, every friendship, and every goodbye. But every goodbye, there's a new beginning, and every beginning always starts with a dream. I was talking to my secretary when my wife handed me the newspaper, the Boston Herald. What is striking is not the headline but the date today, March 28, 2027. It's been 10 years since I moved up from junior high school. By the way, I am Engineer Janel Jezreel Hidalgo. I already settled here in Boston, Massachusetts 2 years ago as a civil engineer and the owner of a big company, the GH Housing Company. I was blessed with a twin and a loving wife. We are living in a 2-story house that I designed erected near my company. Many things have changed into our lives since our moving up ceremony last 2017, and I have seen that when I visited the Philippines just 2 weeks ago. I was invited as a guest speaker for the inauguration and the ribbon cutting of Baler Essentials new school building, which was constructed by Engineer Ron Randall Tangson. Ron is a civil engineer who was behind the famous skyscraper in Metro Manila and a part-time PSL volleyball coach. I was joined by my former classmate, Ana May Cano, on my flight to Manila. She looked glamorous now. She's a mathematics professor at Massachusetts Institute of Technology. She was also invited for the inauguration and at the same time to publish her 2 new books on college algebra and quantum physics, which will be used by the top universities in the Philippines like UP, Ateneo, DLSU, and UST. We took a short flight to New York from Boston, then connected to Manila. As the aircraft being taxied to JFK's runway, we heard a familiar voice on the PA.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board to the Philippine Airlines Flight PR-143 to Manila. This is Captain Russell de la Cruz.
I wondered if the pilot was our classmate. Then someone tapped me and said,
"Sir, we're about to take off. Please fasten your seatbelt."
I was surprised because the flight attendant who tapped me was a familiar face. And I was right. She was Andrea Porbido, who was now working as a cabin pusher. I have also confirmed from her that our flight's pilot was our classmate, Russell, who was now married to his foreign wife who runs their family business of tailoring in the Philippines. As we chatted during the flight, Andrea told us that she's already engaged to her Filipino fiancé and planning to have their wedding in 6 months in a resort in Japan who happens to be owned and managed by Engineer Junel Lenar Francisco. This resort of Junel was mostly visited by the prominent persons in the world. We arrived in Manila just right after lunch, and we were fetched by a limousine courtesy of the business tycoon, Crystal Ann Espinosa. Crystal is the president and CEO of the Merlins Group of companies that ventures in retailing, manufacturing, real estate, and banking. The company holds 80% of Netopia's major competitor, Technozone. As we have heard, Crystal and her husband donated 150 million pesos for the construction of Bea's new school building. Crystal was married to SPO3 John Defender Sindak, who is now working at the Philippine National Police. Crystal and Defender was married a year ago in the City of Love, Paris, France, and they were blessed with 1 child. Now, They are living in their 3-story mansion in Quezon City. We were driving along EDSA on our way to Baler. EDSA was still filled with gigantic billboards. When we reached Guadalupe, an enormous billboard caught my attention. On the huge picture of a gorgeous lady was 2024 Miss Universe Leah Nicole Borreo, modeling for the Remark Medical Group owned by Dr. Nicaela Medalla. Nica's company now leads the Asian market for the cosmetic surgery industry, followed by the Baler Medical Group and the Alliance. In fact, Forbes magazine named her as one of the richest Filipino of the decade along with Ayala, C, Gokong Wei and Espinosa. As we headed up north, I noticed that lots of billboard ads have Leah as the product endorser. Anna May told me that Leah became popular in the Philippines after winning the beauty title 3 years ago. She's one of the ABS-CBN's major talent. Leah graduated as an agriculturist in UP Manila and was married to an NBA basketball player who happens to be John Robert Sindak's teammate. Robert is now an NBA basketball star that plays for Cleveland and recently awarded as the most valuable player, following the footsteps of LeBron James. Robert was married to chef Grace Jeline Marigmen 4 years ago and was blessed with a year-old boy, John Robert Sindak Jr. I heard that they are running their own cafe with Grace as their finest pastry chef. It was a long travel to Baler from Manila. I was pleased to hear and see from the car television the multi-awarded platinum singer-songwriter Carl Lawrence Primo as he sang his first single from his album, The Prime of Primo, that was released 4 days ago. Carl was produced by the greatest pianist of our generation, Sir Zarvex Beaver Atilano. Zarvex is the chairman of Verve Records in Canada and a record producer. We arrived at Baler around 4 p.m. on that day. We checked in a 5-star hotel owned by Mr. Ashley Pierre Albino. Ashley is a successful businessman and the finest game developer in the country. Ashley was married to Shade Cueto 4 months ago. Shade is managing her own bank. She finished her degree of accountancy at the University of Santo Tomas 3 years ago together with Melanie Carril Espinosa. I heard that after Carril graduated as an accountant, he then moved and migrated in Massachusetts. He is finishing his degree of law in Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I was in a VIP room when I opened the television and watched the news. A report about the marching ceremony of United States Marines at Naval Station Rota in Spain caught my interest. I was amazed and shocked when the Marine Battalion marched under the command of General John Paul Alcances. John Paul was with his 2 best Marine engineers, Engineer Almon George Quatriz and Engineer John Joshua Ochoa. After the news, I googled Engineer Quatriz and Engineer Ochoa. It was said that Almond was awarded as the most outstanding marine engineer and known for his collections of expensive sports cars, while Joshua became an Olympic gold medalist in surfing competition last year, and he owned 3 big yachts. The day of the ribbon cutting came and alumni from different batches arrived little by little at the event. Our former teachers was there too, Mr. and Mrs. Dumakita with their 2 kids, Sir Aldrin Gadon with his wife, and Ma'am Jean Pineda with her longtime boyfriend. I only stayed for 5 days in the Philippines since I have many things to do back in Boston. But that short trip was amazing and astonishing, getting to see old friends and heard good news about the others. I reminisced and just realized that our batch was indeed like a huge factory of leaders and great individuals. Moreover, I am proud to be one of them. Remember me, remember us, and all we used to be. Don't let goodbyes ruin this day. Instead, let this lovely day inspire you. The love you feel guide you, the smile in your face move you, and the love of God show you the way.